Music is the soundtrack of your life. It's an art form that transcends language. There are so many different genres, but today we are going to delve into London's greatest ever music scene, grime. Now, you may think of Skepta, Giggs, Stormzy and Kano when it comes to grime music, but there's so much more to it than these incredible artists. This style of music originated in the turn of the 21st century on pirate radio stations and the underground of London, but made its big breakthrough to mainstream radio in the mid-2000s.
The one that everyone used to be up in. You get in there, you get up the lift shaft, like through it to the top bit of it, get to the roof of the block, you start rigging up signals so it intercepts the main radio signal, and you connect it to your thing and you rock, bro.
Grime is influenced by UK garage and jungle music, but what sets it apart is its vocal delivery and its strong lineage to Jamaican dancehall and reggae tracks. The beats are infectious, the lyrics are unapologetic, and the energy is unmatched. Grime has become a global phenomenon, transcending boundaries and resonating with audiences far beyond the city limits of London. The anthems of a city's resilience, rebellion, and relentless pursuit of authentic expression have been shaped by a roster of influential artists and crews, each contributing a unique flair to the genre's development and global recognition. Founded by Skepta and his brother Jamie, Boy Better Know is one of the most influential grime collectives, with a list of artists including Wiley, Frisco, and many more. BBK has played a crucial role in shaping grime's identity, and they are best known for their energetic live performances and collaborative spirit. From the late 90s, Roll Deep was instrumental in popularising grime. Led by Wiley, the crew featured artists like Dizzy Rascal, Tinchy Strider, and others. Roll Deep's early successes helped pave the way for grime's transition from the underground to mainstream recognition. Comprising DEE and Footsie, Newham Generals is a dynamic duo known for their gritty lyricism and energetic performances. Both artists have had successful solo careers and have collaborated with various members of the grime scene. A collective that brought together influential grime artists such as Getz, Devlin, Wretch 32 and Scorcher. The movement showcased the diversity of talent within the genre. Their collaborations and individual contributions have left a lasting impact on the evolution of grime. Nasty Crew, the pioneering grime collective from East London since the late 90s, consisting of notable figures like Sharky Major, Kano, Jammer, and many more. They played a significant role in shaping the early grime scene, contributing to its raw energy, gritty lyrics, and distinct sound. Their influence can still be felt in the UK music scene. These artists and crews are just a glimpse into the ever-expanding world of grime. As the genre continues to evolve, new voices and collectives emerge, contributing to the ongoing legacy of a musical movement deeply rooted in the streets of London. I am joined here with member of Nasty Crew, Sharky Major. Hi Sharky, thank you for joining me.
How you doing? You good?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Cool, perfect. So I have a few questions related to grime, if you don't mind answering them.
Yeah, no problem.
So first of all, can you share a bit about yourself and how you got into the grime industry?
So I started doing music from school days, probably from year 9, year 10. I started understanding about lyrics, and before I used to listen to a lot of rap music, and that's kind of what influenced me. And then from there, I started DJing.
Okay.
But obviously there's a lot of guys in my school who used to also have lyrics, so then I started having lyrics as well as being a DJ. So then I became everyone knew me as the DJ and also as the MC sort of thing, so it was mad. But obviously as I started progressing, I took the MC side of things more serious, and then yeah, from youth club days, like when we were younger, there was a lot of youth centers and youth clubs and house parties, and where people would the decks and the DJs would be there, and
Yeah.
there'll be someone who'll take the mic and do what they're doing. So I was that guy, So yeah, we went from that to when grime became known, and we were part of the whole growth of it, because obviously we started off going on radio and
Yeah.
like pirate radio at the time, and that's where we were really known. That's where we got spread to the masses. That was the platform for people to hear us outside of the area. Do you see what I mean?
Hmm. Okay, thank you. As a big grime fan myself, I'm aware that authenticity plays a massive role in grime music.
Mm.
Can you describe the importance of authenticity and how you've maintained that in your work?
It's very important. I think it's quite in a scene where it's quite saturated with a lot of artists and a lot of musicians. Obviously, it's a lot harder to stand out now. So if you're not authentic, if you haven't got your own style, your own sound, something that helps you to stand out from the crowd, I think for us, the benefit for people like me, I say us, but people like the MCs that started around the time I started, there weren't any other sound like us before, so we were the kind of like the trendsetters,
Yeah,
and we showed people what was possible on that type of speed of music. And then from there, obviously, people experimented, and a lot of the flows that people from my era, the originals, like early part of grime, now you have a lot of artists that are using similar sort of styles and patterns and flows, and probably don't even realize that that's where it came from. Do you see what I'm saying? They just had that influence from music over time, and now they're using similar sort of patterns and flows, especially like on the other genres like drill music,
yeah,
and even a lot of rap music. There's a lot of grime influence, whether some people will realize it or not. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. That's really interesting. Thank you. Over the years, have there been any challenges that you've faced? And if so, how did you manage to overcome them?
Yeah, there's been many challenges. I think one of the challenges that we faced at the time was well, the fact that we were on pirate radio. So to be
Yeah.
heard, you had to be technically on radio on the airwaves, but it wasn't legal really. It was
Mm.
illegal. So in order to be heard, a lot of all the DJs on FM dial, a lot of them were on pirate radio stations back then. Nowadays, you don't have many stations on the FM dial if you go through radio stations, but you do have like digital radio stations now, and you have like official community radio stations, as well as like mainstream radio stations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, radio for us, that was our outlet at the early stages, and when they used to sometimes there was the radio police were called the DTI. Yeah,
Right.
I don't know what the DTI stand for, but you probably could Google it
I'll
and
do the
find out.
research.
Yeah, but the DTI used to shut down the radio stations, and if they came into a radio station, whatever, they would confiscate the equipment and take the DJ's records and all of that sort of stuff. So
Right.
um, it was quite severe, especially if a DJ spent all of his life. Back in the day,
Yeah.
a lot of DJ's times was spent, and money was spent on collecting records, and the cost of vinyls, especially if you had exclusive tracks like dub plates, they were called,
Yeah.
then you would have spent even more money. So like the average price of a record back then was like from £7 to £10, but then if you had exclusive records and you cut something called a dub plate, you would have been paying £40 to £50 for that
Oh
same
my
record.
goodness.
So if you've got a box full of 200 records and half of your boxes are exclusive records, then you can imagine how much money it costed that person to have that type of selection of music. So then if the DTI came now and took your music, you can't, one, some of those tracks you'll never be able to get again, and two,
Yeah.
you've just lost a lot of money just like that. So it was a big risk. So that was a big struggle for me coming up in music, and that's how we overcame it. To be honest, we just had to keep going. And when one station was locked off, we find another station to go
The
on
next
to,
one.
and just go like practice, maybe like go and record. Because a lot of the time back in the day, we would record um, the performances, even like wherever whoever could record and had the decks at their place, whether it's in someone's bedroom, whether it's in someone's garage, whether it's in their living room, as long as the decks were there, like, and the DJ was there and the mic was there, and they had a facility to record, then there was,
Start
yeah, you
recording.
know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's how we overcame it.
Okay, so perseverance was really key back then.
Absolutely. There's a lot more struggles as well, but that was just like one as an example.
Yeah. What advice would you give to an aspiring MC who's trying to break into the industry like today?
Um, so obviously earlier on we touched on authenticity. You know, you got to try and stand out from the crowd, be a bit different in the right way. Just make sure you put yourself across properly, and you know, make sure you've worked on your thing before you're trying to. But you know, the whole old saying, "Don't try run before you can walk."
Yeah.
Build your craft, learn the craft, understand the music, research it. You know, find your lane. Don't rush. I would say build up a catalog of music first before you put music out, so that you've got a lot of music to choose from, so you definitely know what your best music is. And
Yeah.
secondly, you've got tracks to follow up with. So if you have one big track and all the record labels and all the executives are interested in who you are and want to know who you are, what you got, the first thing is, where's the next track? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the next follow up? What have you got? Show me. And if you haven't got a catalog of tracks ready to show people, then you could potentially lose out on good opportunities as well. But of course, don't go out there just looking for the deal or you know, a record from someone, because nowadays, in the way things are set up, if you learn the business aspects of it right, and you build the right momentum and you get the right following, you potentially could do it independently,
Yeah.
and you know, have a lot more control over what you're doing with your music and your career. Which obviously, you know, if you've researched music, you'll know that there's a lot of horror stories about people who have taken the wrong deals and the wrong contracts that they've signed. So
Mhm.
you got to make sure that, you know, if you get to a point where you're being offered contracts and deals, you get your stuff checked out properly,
Yeah.
and you know, you're on point.
Cool. Um, as somebody that's a part of the industry, how do you view the evolution of grime music? Do you see a massive change, or do you think it's still very similar since the beginning?
um it's a bit of both, because music works in cycles.
Yeah.
So you'll start off in one stage, it will get to another stage, and then before you know it, you're going through a bit of a nostalgic moment again. Um, and that's what I feel with grime. So, for example, we built it up from the early days. Then it had its peak.
Yeah.
Then it dropped a little bit. Then there's a resurgence. Like, it's always gonna go up and down, a little bit like property market. So, you know, with house prices, they keep going up and down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's similar with the popularity of grime and other genres as well. There's always gonna be another popular music that will come in after a certain music, but there's always gonna be a following for certain music. So grime has got his own following, um, and you know, the evolution of it is where it's now got to mainstream levels where people have been able to make a living off of you know, and feed their families and invest and, you know, live a nice life from the evolution of grime and the growth of grime. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Some people have become proper artists out of what we've done with music and grime music. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's great, and I think the future of it, it's down to us really, about, you know, not even just me. I'm talking about the people who are part of the music to continue doing it, and continue to spread the word. I like when I come across, you know, young people that show interest in grime, because some people's narrative is, oh, grime's dead, but then you've got a whole load of people who are, say, under the age of 20, that you know, are interested in grime.
Yeah.
People under the age of 30 that are still interested in grime. So, you know, it's definitely a scene that, if you get involved and you understand it and you like it, you know, and you're open to to lyrics and content and bars, not just little melodies and that, which is fine if that's what music you like. But there's obviously a bit deeper levels to music, and obviously grime music is a lot of artists expressing themselves through the mic or through the beats, the sound. There's a lot of sick producers. They don't need MCs. They just got the sick beats, and
Yeah.
obviously the MCs complement the beat and make a name for themselves that way as well. So it's sick.
So following on for that, do you think that mainstream media has had sort of a big effect on how the grime scene has evolved? I know you touched on it before, but do you think the relationship between grime artists and MCs and the mainstream media has helped to sort of build a better, stronger scene?
Um, yes and no. I think the mainstream media helps to again spread the word and show people who might not have known about what we're doing, what we are doing. So that's why you need mainstream media support. But obviously, also mainstream media sometimes can spin narratives and put our thing across in a negative light. Um, how many times have you seen people from either music or entertainment say they done this interview and it wasn't exactly what it was, what
Mm.
came out? Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So it shows that you can't always completely trust the mainstream media, unfortunately. Um, I don't know how you counteract that, how you get around that, but we need support and we need exposure and we need good things said about us. But obviously, we have to make sure that good things are said about us too. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But
It
obviously, the vice
works.
versa.
It works hand in hand then.
Yeah, but we don't need people that are against us pretending that they're with us, and then when we're gone and our backs turned, really saying what negative things. You know what I'm saying? When in our faces they're acting like they like what we do and they respect it, and we've done really well. Well done, you've done great. And then afterwards, oh, those grime guys, what I'm saying. So yeah, I don't rate that.
What opportunities or challenges do you anticipate with the future of grime? I know we did touch on it previously, how you said grime will continue to grow as long as people keep interacting, but what do you think some of the main challenges and some of the main opportunities will be with it?
Sorry, repeat it one more time. What would be the main challenges in grime if what? Sorry.
So, the main challenges and opportunities in the future of grime.
Um, I think the challenges are how many people continue to do it. If people continue to do it, then it's not so much of a challenge
Yeah,
because there's enough people doing it. And obviously obviously for music to continue growing and continue to live, it can't keep hearing the same stuff. So as much as you've got people like the Grime Originals and people who have been doing it for ages, and obviously yes, sometimes we might write some new bars, but a lot of the time we're spitting our trademark classic bars, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying. So that's what people know us for, and that's what they want to hear. But it's nice when you get a breath of fresh air, some new blood in the music and in the scene, and obviously not just grime music, every genre. When the new talent comes out, people like it. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether it's hip hop, rap, garage, even though garage music again is put in a little bracket as well because some people try and associate it with the older generation, but then there's a big younger crowd that really like garage music as well. Um, so that's interesting as well. So every genre, like I said, has got its own following and people that appreciate it. It's just about the amount of people that are going to decide whether or not how big it gets.
yeah.
But there's always going to be appreciation for it.
And finally, as someone deeply involved in the grime scene, what are the most important aspects to preserve?
Um, I feel like obviously the whole originality side of things, everyone's still trying to be as original as they can. Um, there still needs to be a lot of live sets and people still doing grime music live for an audience to keep that authenticity side of things and the original form of grime music going. There needs to be a lot more music, a lot more releases, singles, a lot more collaborations with different artists linking up and putting music out. Um, and more events. You know, this is just the whole ecosystem, like everything. There's all the different departments needs to keep ticking over and keep working in order for us to do what we need to do and get to where we need to get to, and the next generation to keep it going. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So everything just needs to keep branching off of each other and bouncing, and that's
Absolutely.
how it will stay
Yeah,
preserved. Cool.
absolutely.
I love that. That's amazing. Thank you. And is there anything else you'd like to say, just as a general statement to close it off?
Um, Thank you. That's what I want to say. Well done, and keep doing what you're doing. It's amazing. Obviously, you know the questions you asked are very good, and I'm. It made me think, so that's good. You
Thank
know, I
you.
don't always do too many interviews,
Yeah.
but I like doing ones where they're gonna ask you questions that make you think. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining me, and thank you for sparing some of your time.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
So, whether you're a seasoned grime enthusiast or a newcomer to its infectious beats, stay tuned as the journey through London's greatest ever music scene is far from over.